Hello. Today we will talk about present perfect. I mean myself and Lucky. His name is Lucky. So today we will talk about B1 level for present perfect, so just the beginning of present perfect. And I will show it with the example of my cat, Lucky. Lucky has been living with me, has lived with me, yeah. Lucky has lived with me for 5 years. And he has been here on the table for 2 seconds because it's very difficult to make my cat do something. But we are not cats. That's why we will continue talking about present perfect. Present perfect and past simple. What is the difference between them and how to recognize present perfect in their speech, in their text, and the most important now in grammar exercises. We use present perfect to make present perfect. We use have or has and the third form. The third form of the verb is ed or the third form of irregular verbs. If you open the table of irregular verbs, you will see the third column, which is called past participle, and we need it to make present perfect. If the verb is regular, we use ed. If you want to make a positive sentence, we use have or has and the third form. For example, I have done my homework. Negative sentences we make with have or has. Pay attention. In English, it works in 100%. So something that works in 100% in the English language. If you have two verbs, two and more, and if you want to make the sentence negative, we take the first verb and make it negative. Haven't or hasn't. And the same verb we use to make the question. We just put it before the subject. If we have more than 2, 3 or more verbs, this rule works everywhere. So if we have something like have been doing, it will be I haven't been doing. You shouldn't have done something, you should have done something, and so on. But now we are talking about present perfect. So in positive sentences, I have done my homework. In negative sentences, he hasn't done his homework. And if you want to ask the question, have you done the homework? Have, has, and the third form. That is how we make present perfect. Of course, to make present perfect, you need to remember the third forms. When we make it just using ed, that is one issue. But the third form of the regular verbs, you need to remember or have a look at them in the dictionary or in the table of irregular verbs. Now let's look here. There is a simple exercise. You can pause the video and try to remember or write down the third forms of these verbs. They are all irregular. Pause the video and do the exercise if you want to practice. If not, let's go on with me. There are the forms. I would like to draw your attention to one form. Number 2, look, go, and you can ask me, Asha, but go, went, gone. This is it's irregular, and we remember we have learned these forms. What happened? Why been? We will talk about it today a little bit later. Just keep it in mind because we are, yes, of course, go, went, gone, but we can use gone not in all situations. Just remember about it. Go, went, gone, yes, but sometimes it will be go, went, been. When we will discuss. Let's go on. Now I would like to talk about some words, some situations, some sentences which will tell you that we need present perfect. for the first time, they are really great assistants. Of course, they are not always show us that it's present perfect, and we can use them in past perfect, we can use them in present simple, in past simple, but in 70% maybe we use these words in present perfect. Let's start with the first group. Ever, never, already, and just. Pay attention. We use them between have or has and the third form. Between have and the third form. Ever. Ever in Russian we usually say когда-либо, когда-нибудь. And mostly we use it in negatives, but not always. Usually yes, but not always. Have you ever seen this film? Вы когда-либо видели этот фильм? In this case, how to ask the question? For example, вы когда-нибудь читали эту книгу? Have you ever read this book? Yeah, you're absolutely right. Вы когда-нибудь катались на коньках? Have you ever skated? Yeah, you're right. Ever. Когда-либо, когда-нибудь. Never. And here I have a question to you. I think you remember that never we use in, do you remember where? Always, usually, often, never, yeah, in present simple. For example, he never drinks coffee in the evening. What is the difference between never in my sentence and never on the slide? What is the difference between this never and these never? If you look at the sentences, in my example, he never drinks coffee. It means that usually he doesn't do it. Whereas in the first sentence, it's never in his life. Look at the sentence about coffee. It's a very strange sentence, yeah? Он никогда в своей жизни не пил кофе. Who is he? Where does he live? Where has he lived all his life? So he never drinks coffee. It means that usually he doesn't drink coffee, but he has never visited Spain in his life. He has never visited Spain. How to say? Я никогда в жизни не встречала королеву. Короля, okay, nowadays. I have never met a king. Я никогда в жизни не видела крокодила. I have never seen a crocodile. Never in my life. But I never eat meat. I don't like it. I never eat meat. When we use never in present perfect, there is always this idea, never in my life. Never in present simple, it's usually. Already. Already, in Russian, we say уже. I have already had breakfast. By the way, pay attention to this sentence. I have already had. That is quite a common problem. Yes, why do we have here to have the? Because the first have, that is an auxiliary verb from present perfect. The same have as we have here, 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 The second had, it's the third form. The first verb is an auxiliary verb, вспомогательный глагол. The second had is a full verb, смысловой глагол. So I have already had breakfast, or I have already eaten breakfast. Уже. I have already had breakfast. Я уже сделал домашнюю работу. I have already done my homework. Я уже видел этот фильм. I have already seen this film. And the last variant here is just. Just in Russian, we say in these situations, we say только что. Только что. Not like просто, just looking. No, it's a different just. Just только что. I have just woken up. That's why I'm so sleepy. Just. Я только что пообедал. I have just had lunch. Я только что съел сэндвич. I have just eaten or had a sandwich. So, these four words, these four adverbs we use in the middle between have and the third form. Let's go on and find out about some more words. Here, yet, recently or lately, and so far. These words we use at the end of the sentence. And to speak about yet, we need to remember already. Already, do you remember? Yeah, уже. But already we use where in the middle. Yet we use at the end. And already we use in positive sentences, yet we use in negative sentences and in questions. So that's why yet in a negative sentence, I haven't seen this film yet. We translate into Russian like еще, but in the question, it will be уже. Have you seen this film yet? In Russian, these two sentences, we translate an adverb in the same way. I have already seen, я уже видел. Have you seen this film yet? Ты уже видел. But already we use in positive sentences and yet in questions. So yet, уже or еще. For example, я еще не сделал домашнюю работу. I haven't done my homework yet. Я еще не завтракал. I haven't had my breakfast yet. Ты уже сделал домашнюю работу? Have you done your homework yet? Ты уже видел этот фильм? We have this sentence. Okay. Ты уже читал эту книгу? Have you read this book yet? Yet in negative and in questions. Recently or lately. Недавно, в последнее время. For example, he has been to this restaurant recently. He has been to this restaurant recently. So far, на сей момент. In Russian, we don't use it very often, but in English, they do. She has written 12 books so far. She has written 12 books so far. Я прочитал половину книги на момент сейчас. I have read half a book so far. So, yet, recently, lately, so far, we use in present perfect. We put them at the end of the sentence, yet, recently, lately, so far. One more portion of words, I would say sentences. When we say that we have done something, the first, it can be not only the first, it can be the second, the third, the fourth, the 155th time, or when we use the variants, the best, the worst, the most interesting. Yeah, remember comparative forms of adjectives. For example, it's the first time I've been to this museum. It's the first time I've been to this museum. Это уже 10-й раз, когда мы пишем это сочинение. It's the 10th time we have written this essay. Это уже 100-й раз, когда я перечитываю эту книгу. It's the 100th time I have read this book. And one more construction. This is the best film I've ever seen. This is the best film plus present perfect plus ever. So we use ever not only in questions, you see. So, how to say, for example, это самый интересный человек, которого я когда-либо встречала. This is the most interesting person I've ever met. This is the most interesting person I've ever met. Let's go on. Remember, the first time, not necessarily the first, and the best, the worst, the most interesting, the most expensive, and so on. And two more words, since and for. When we answer the question how long, usually that is perfect. Since and for. Since we use when we speak about since some moment in the past and up to now. Since, с какого-то времени. For in English we use when we speak about period of time. The problem with Russian is that usually we don't use any preposition in the sentences. We just say я живу здесь 13 лет. No preposition. If we speak about period of time in English, we use preposition for. Look at the examples. I've lived here since 2010. С 2010. Since 2010. I've lived here for 13 years. I've lived here for 13 years. Now look at the exercise, and if you want to practice, you can try to do this exercise, and then we will check the answers. Pause the video. If you don't want to do it, just come with me. For those who have done the exercise correctly, great you are. If you have some mistakes, never mind. Just try to understand why you've made these mistakes. Pay attention. Since 1987, for 10 minutes. Since 3:15, for 1 year. And here I would like to stop for a while and explain to you the difference between for and since if we speak about age. A lot of students make a mistake here because they want to say, like in Russian we say, с одного года. If you want to say it in English, they never say since 1 year. They say since I was 1 or I was 1 year old. So we don't use it like we do in Russian in this case when we speak about age. That's why if you use just 1 year, it's period of time, that is for. Since July, since I was 18, pay attention about the age, for 3 months, and for 25 years. Since, с какого-то времени, for, в течение какого-то времени. But in both variants, in present perfect, see in some moment in the past, and up to now. Present perfect. And the main difference between present perfect and past simple. Present perfect is always connected with now, somehow, with different variants, but it is connected with present. That's why it's present perfect. Combining all the variants which we talked about, you can see the table here, some adverbs, some phrases, and since and for. All these words can show you that we need present perfect. Do you remember? I asked you to remember or 3 forms: go, went, gone, and been. Why? Because here, look, are in English they use in a bit different way with these 2 forms: have been to and have gone to. Look at the variants. He has been to Paris 3 times. We speak about his life experience. Он бывал в Париже 3 раза. And everything is clear. Yeah, now he might be anywhere. He's not in Paris. But in Russian we very often say он ездил в Париж. Он ходил в магазин. And we use go. In English it will be have been to, not have gone to. Because have gone to, and now look at the right part. Have gone to. Он уехал в Париж. He is not here now because he has gone to Paris. And now he is in Paris. Он сейчас не здесь, потому что он уехал в Париж. So that's why we cannot say he has gone to Paris 3 times. Like in Russian we say он ездил в Париж трижды. Because has gone to, он уехал в Париж. He cannot do it 3 times. So remember the difference. Has gone to or have gone to, уехал, ушел. Now he's not here because he has gone to Paris. Have been to, бывал, ездил, ходил. So that will be have gone to. Can you feel the difference? To check it, you can try to do the exercise here. As usual, pause the recording, do the exercise, and then go on. There are the results. Look at the variants. Where have you been today? Где вы были? I have been to the cinema. Был в кино. Now I am not in the cinema. I have not been on a picnic. Я не был, я не ходил, мы не ездили на пикник. But now we are not there. It's just life experience. I have never been to India. Я никогда не был, я никогда не ездил в Индию. Have never been to, not gone. I have been there twice. Я ездил в Индию дважды. Я был в Индии дважды. I have been to India twice. But where are the children now? They have gone to the park. Они ушли в парк. And now they are in the park. Has Dad gone with them? Папа ушел с ними? Of course, don't worry. So, in the last example, we say that children and Dad are in the park now, or on their way to the park now. In all other variants, we speak about life experience. So, life experience, have been to. Where are people now? Have gone to. Remember about the difference. So, now let's compare present perfect and past simple. At first, you can see that they, of course, have different variants. We have has, and the third form for present perfect. We have the second form for past simple. Remember just about the verb to be. To be in the second form was were. If we want to make the sentence negative in past simple, you see, we have only one verb in positive. So that's why we add didn't. In present perfect, we have two verbs. So we take the first and make it negative. Haven't. In past simple, didn't, and the first form. And the same in the question. In present perfect, we have two verbs. So we take the first and put it at the beginning of the sentence. Have you been? In past simple, it will be, did you go? In past simple, remember about to be. So in positive sentences, yes, we use the second form, was or were. But in negative, if you have was, were, how do we make negative? Wasn't, weren't. We don't need didn't if we use to be. But that is about past simple. The main difference between these two tenses. Of course, you can pay attention to their adverbs, to some words, to some phrases, the sentences which we have just discussed. Ever, never, already, just, yet, blah, blah, blah. We use in present perfect. If we use last month, last week, 2 weeks ago, a second ago, yesterday, the day before yesterday, when I was a child, we use past simple. But the main difference here is we use present perfect when we speak about not finished period of time. Period of time, not the action. Usually the action in present perfect is over. We finished it. Remember, I have been to Paris. Now I am not in Paris. It's about my past. But it's my life experience up to now. So that's why period of time is not finished. If we speak about finished period of time, it will be past simple. Look at two sentences. He has lived here for 10 years, and he lived here for 10 years. What is the difference in the situations? Pay attention. Not finished period of time and finished period of time. The question, in which variant, in this or in this, he now lives here? Yep, in the first. Because present perfect, it's past connected with present. Somehow, but connected. He has lived here for 10 years, and now he lives here too. The second variant, past. It's finished action. So finished period of time. It has no connection with present. That's why he lived here for 10 years, but then he moved. Present perfect, it's always past connected with present. Keep it in mind and look at the second example. He has made a lot of films, and he made a lot of films. Who is he in each sentence? Obviously, some kind of director. But can you give the names, the examples? Again, keep in mind, finished period of time and not finished period of time. Which of these sentences is about, for example, Tarantino, and which is about Hitchcock? Tarantino is alive, Hitchcock is dead. The first sentence, he has made a lot of films, is about somebody who is alive and who can continue this action, who can make some more films. When we speak about dead people, we use past simple. He made a lot of films. It's about a director who died. Of course, you can ask me, but his works are here and we appreciate them now and we watch these films now. Yes, about his works, yes, but about him, no. For example, if we speak about Pushkin, we can say that Pushkin's works have been translated into many languages of the world. But if we speak about Pushkin himself, we use past simple always. Not only past simple, but we use past tenses because he died. When we speak about present perfect, we usually answer the questions how long or how many, how much has been done up to this moment so far. And we never remember about it. We never mention when or what time the action happened. We never mention the time when it happened in present perfect. If you have time, it will be past simple. That is the basis. Of course, there are the basic piece of information. Of course, there are more details and there are a lot of special cases. But if you remember that present perfect, it's past connected with present, and past simple, it's something that we know when it happened. It will be not very difficult for you to do the exercises. By the way, one exercise especially for you. According to our tradition, make a pause. So pause the video. And while doing the exercise, and before you start doing the exercise, let's together look at the words which can help you to understand, is it present perfect or past simple? For example, has written. Why? Because he is a writer now. So connected with present. But number two, last year. That is about the past. Sentence number three, we have yesterday, last night, ever, yesterday. Kathy travels a lot. She's alive. Before going out, finished or not? I live in New York now. Is life in Mexico connected with present? And about experience of being to Canada. So, do the exercise and let's go. Welcome to the world of the correct answers. Look, there are the correct answers. You can check them. You can pause the recording again, but pay attention. We have, for example, in sentence number 6. Haven't you made the mistake? Haven't you written didn't be? Remember, I told you, I reminded you that to be doesn't need didn't. If we have was, it will be wasn't. If we have were, it will be weren't, not didn't be. Number 8, switched off the light because it was before going out. Yes, we have this morning, but it's finished period of time. Number 9, I lived. Yes, we have 4 in number 9 for many years, but I don't live there now. It's finished period of time for me because now I live in New York. And I have never been to Canada. That's a pity, but there is a chance. So, if you have any questions, you are always welcome. I hope there is some information in your head now about present perfect. The more exercises you do, the better you remember, of course. One exercise is not enough, but the more tasks you do, the better you remember. So, hope that your study will be successful, that present perfect will not be difficult for you. If you have any questions, you know what to do. For today, that's it. Bye-bye.